And just like that, thousands of people around the world yesterday got a sense of just how connected the internet really is after Cloudflare's hours-long outage. But joining us now for insight on that outage is Kirk, Offel, the CEO of Overwatch Mission Critical. Good to see you again, Kirk.
Great to see you again as well. Thank you for having me this morning.
For sure. Now, it's one of a series of outages yesterday's in recent weeks, including Amazon Web Services and Azure, which belongs to Microsoft, that all sent ripples throughout the internet. Why are we seeing so many major cloud outages lately from all of those that I've just mentioned?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm going to sum it up with one word. It's reliability. And reliability means there's not enough resiliency built into the initial designs. The application demand is now exceeding the capacity of the design. And that's going to be a common theme as we continue to grow and scale. We've never built things to this magnitude and scale. And now we're building things and designing things, and we're testing and discovering the limits of those things. So what you're seeing is a reliability issue, and that reliability issue comes down to design capabilities. And you can hear, as the CEO said, they just had to make some changes to their design. They were able to get it back online.
Like any cutting edge technology, I guess it just is continually iterative. But what is digging into the facts of it, what is really behind these crashes in terms of the technology limits? But also, is there human error involved? It seemed to come down to a file that had a glitch. Could that be resolved?
Yeah, good question. Don't think of it as human error. Yeah, it's a great question. Don't think of it as human error. Think of it as more as human capacity. So we build these things, and we have so much capacity or volume or velocity of internet traffic that can go through things. At the same time, we are trying to build more right now. So think of it like this. In the world, in the United States, let's say we have 60 gigawatts of data centers today. Well, imagine that it took us about 15 years to build the first 10 gigawatts. We're building 10 gigawatts to put online right now. So we are building data center capacity at a volume and a velocity that has never been seen before in the history of mankind. And if we're building 10 gigawatts to put online right now, 90 to 95% of that has already been pre-leased and sold, which means we can't keep up to get even, let alone try to get ahead. And the only thing that's really harming our ability to build these availability zones to give more reliability and redundancy to these designs is a skilled labor force. And we just are trying to find a talent from everywhere we can find it. We're pulling them from the trades. We're pulling them from the first responders. We do a good job of trying to pull directly from the military, where there's civilian trades like electrical contractors, mechanical contractors, EHV experts, things that are trained in the military that transcend into what we did in the civilian fleet. And we're trying to merge those two things together. So it's not human error. It's more just we need more humans to build more capacity so we can add more reliability and redundancy to these designs.
And this is exactly what, as you mentioned, your company is working towards and working on mission critical infrastructure projects. What else can other companies do right now to prevent cascading failures across the internet?
Yeah, they're going to need to build more, and they're going to need to take what they have and realize the capacity has limitations to what they have. And the only way to add more reliability and redundancy to this is to add more availability zones adjacent to what we have. So you have to look at cloud and AI as a utility. The first utility was water. The second was electricity. The third was connectivity in your home. The fourth was gas. The fifth utility during the fifth industrial revolution is AI and cloud services. And you have to treat this like you would any other trade. So we are right now trying to lead a vertical of industry that doesn't exist by creating essentially an entirely new trade designed just for one thing, and that's building data centers. At the end of the day, there will be two verticals of industries: data centers, which support AI capacity demand and cloud, and then every other industry that's an adjacent industry that's in orbit of data centers and in supply and demand. So we need more human beings to get into the space to build more availability zones, to add more reliability to the digital infrastructure that we've already created, so that we can start avoiding more of these downtimes. These downtimes are just simply an example of we've reached the reliability point and the capacity limits of this technology, and we need to build more.
So tell me more about this concept of the fifth industrial revolution.
No, it's a great question. So think of it like this. What AI is in 2025 is the equivalency of what the automobile was in 1925. And we were still building Model Ts till 1927. So when we built an automotive industry, we didn't know that it would have the meaningful impact that it does It has an incredible impact on society, but it maybe has had one of the greatest impacts on humanity. And when we built that industry, there were no roads, there were no regulations, there were no ethics or driver's license, there wasn't even service stations. And if you needed a part for your car, you had to go to a bike shop to have a fabricator build it. We didn't even have technicians and service capacities for automobiles when we first put it out and introduced it to the world. Now you could go to college just to get a degree in mechanical engineering to go work in Formula One. We are at the forefront of an emerging industry that has never existed before. And today, the automobile industry 100 years ago is now showing us how to navigate through the same trials and tribulations of labor of 2025, which is we have to build career fields around this type of technology, and we have to give people the opportunity to go get jobs of meaningful significance. These jobs don't require college degrees, and these are the jobs that build back the middle class. So the fifth industrial revolution is about transforming and unleashing technology in a way that really benefits us as the consumer. So the third industrial revolution was a little bit like Goldilocks, but it was too hot. The fourth, which we just wrapped up, is a little too cold. The fifth industrial revolution is the Goldilocks moment where technology is accretive to us as humans, and it's just about right. So our job is to unleash more emerging technology that improves the lives of everyone around the world.
And just coming back to the latest outages, they really do impact lives. Notably, last month's AWS outage reportedly caused disruptions to hospitals using the service. What more, if anything, do you think government should do to hold critical infrastructure companies like Cloudflare accountable for these disruptions?
Yeah, so like when the automobile industry was first introduced, there was no standardization and regulation of quality, not only as they were being built, but how they operated. Now we have very strict rules and regulations on how to get a license to operate a vehicle. Then there's certain certifications and training programs that people go through to be licensed and certified to go repair and provide services to these things. When a company tips into the mainstream, it typically requires ethics along as governance and regulation. So this is an industry that has existed for 30 to 40 years that no one really paid attention to. And now it's at the forefront of everybody's lives because now we see how it directly impacts our own quality of life. So yes, you will see that as something begins to emerge, the government will have more of an impact in a bigger reach into the things that we're doing, because at the end of the day, AI will be used primarily for three major verticals of industry. The first will be national security because it is the most advanced weapon, machine, and tech ever built. The second will be for energy, and the third will be for healthcare. So we're going to need to figure out how we apply the same means and methods of establishing a new vertical of industry into this technology industry. And that begins with some sort of oversight, and sad to say, some government regulation perhaps, but there will be ethics that will be imposed on this industry that allow us to scale it with a career path, so where we can bring on people that can help transform the industry and build careers that don't need college degrees along the way.
And certainly ethics being one of the major differences between humans and machines. Thank you so much, Kirk Offel, for your insights today.
It's great to see you again. Thank you so much.
And you.